Remember the life of Colton Michael Miller, a sweet, perfect, innocent, beautiful, 18-month-old boy from my district. You'll find a sheet on your desk with pictures of Colton. Please take a moment to view them. As you can see, he was a happy little boy with a mother and a sister that loved him greatly. With this resolution, we are honoring Colton's life, while also calling attention to the scourge of domestic violence. I'm going to share with you a recent tragedy that occurred in Joliet on the border of my district, and the courageous advocacy of a survivor who is here with us today in the speaker's gallery. Cassandra Tanner Miller, Colton's mother. She is joined here today with her daughter, Cameron, also referred to as Zaza by little Colton. Joining them are her parents and friends. I'm so proud of Cassandra and her determination to ensure Colton's legacy continues by helping to prevent another tragedy like theirs. Almost a year ago, after Cassandra had left her marital home, removing her and her children from an abusive situation, all of hell broke loose. On September 21st, 2019, just as most days in the afternoon, Cassandra had just fed Colton and put him to sleep in her room upstairs. As she and her daughter were downstairs in the kitchen, Cassandra noticed a figure in the back door. It was her estranged husband. As he forced his way through the door, she yelled to her daughter to go get Colton and to not stop for anything. Cassandra believes she saw the devil that day. As he was breaking into her home, he asked if they were ready to die today. The events that followed are truly tragic and difficult to talk about, but we have to. Cassandra was beaten and strangled, dragged some, beaten and strangled again, now laying at the bottom of her stairs. As one last measure, he hit her with a large metal candlestick holder, knocking her unconscious. After leaving her at the bottom of the stairs, he made his way upstairs to the bedroom where Colton was in. This coward did the unthinkable. He fired multiple rounds into 18-month-old Colton Michael Miller while he was lying there asleep, before ultimately turning the gun on himself and committing suicide. Every time a man, woman, or child is injured or killed in an act of domestic violence, it is a brutal and heartbreaking reminder of how all too often the existing legal systems in place intended to protect our families and prevent tragedies like this from occurring are not enough. And I'm here to tell you folks, it's not enough. In fact, in too many cases, they fail altogether. In the case of 18-month-old Colton, his murder could have been prevented. Christopher Miller, the coward responsible for taking Colton's life, had his FOID card revoked in January of 2018 as a result of aggravated battery charge. Yet he was never made to surrender his firearms. Taking initiative herself out of concern for her safety and her children's safety, Cassandra reported her estranged husband's violent behavior and drug use to the Illinois National Guard, of which he was a member of. They told her that because he was not on military orders at the time of the allegation, they were limited as to what they could do. So they did nothing and stopped taking Cassandra's calls, her pleads for help. I'm sharing this story with you today in hopes that it will serve as a catalyst for members of this General Assembly to take action to improve our laws, to better protect the victims of domestic violence, and most importantly, to save lives. Specifically, with the help of Cassandra and multiple folks, I have filed legislation calling for the creation of an intergovernmental domestic violence task force, also known as Colton's Task Force, House Bill 4262 to accomplish 4 key objectives: conduct a comprehensive review of Illinois' domestic violence laws, make recommendations to the General Assembly regarding those laws, establish a framework for specialized protective networks for victims, because folks, we need it. In all areas of this state, we need it. Treatment options for victims and offenders, and review the need for special consideration for conditions of bail in cases involving domestic violence within the ongoing changes brought about by bail reform. I have slips here with me at my desk for members to join me in the sponsorship of this task force. Please stop over and see me today or contact my office about joining on to House Bill 4262. But by working together to identify and correct the lapses in our laws that heighten the risk for more men, women, and children to be abused or killed, we can honor the life of 18-month-old Colton Miller and every other victim of domestic violence across Illinois. I respectfully ask the body to join me in observing a moment of silence in the memory of young Colton Miller, and to show our respect to his mother and his sister Cameron, who are present with us today.
The body will take a moment of silence.